Sean Hannity wasn't the only person texting Mark Meadows in the months between the 2020 election and Donald Trump leaving office. No, as I mentioned, you had all kinds of folks, Republican lawmakers, Marjorie Taylor Greene mentioning martial law, but she spelled it wrong. So God only knows what she was really talking about, because I'm sure she's going to try to lie her way out of that. But another interesting round of text messages actually came from Mike Lindell, the CEO of MyPillow, because the pillow guy was telling Mark Meadows, that he needs to get Donald Trump to seize the voting machines, which of course was one of the plans that was being floated with Trump's people prior to the insurrection. So here's what Mike Lindell had texted to Mark Meadows. "We have to get the machines, and everything we already have proves the president won by millions of votes. I have read and not validated yet that you and others talked him out of seizing them. If true, I pray it is part of a bigger plan. I'm grateful that on the night of the election, the algorithms of the corrupt machines broke and they realized our president would win in spite of historic fraud. I look for deviations every day in my business. When I find one, I investigate relentlessly until I know why it happened." It's a whole hell of a lot of words to say, hey, can you please break our democracy for us? Could you send your guys out there to go confiscate these voting machines and effectively render all of their results null, which of course would have given Donald Trump the victory in the 2020 election? That's what Mike Lindell wanted. And these text messages were sent on December 20th, 2020. You know, right as the big lie effectively was really coming together for these Republicans. Mike Lindell, of course, at the heart of it. He was brought into the White House. He gave a presentation, but the presentation was so weak that even people like Lindsey Graham were sitting there saying, there's nothing here, man. We don't even understand what you're trying to tell us. But again, little interesting tidbits here and there in what Mike Lindell is saying. He is saying that even before December 20th, the White House had already considered the plan to go out and seize the voting machines, but that it may have been Mark Meadows and other people involved who finally convinced Donald Trump that that wasn't a good idea. And of course, Lindell's not happy about that. I pray it's part of a bigger plan. I hope you got something even bigger up your sleeve if you're not going to go out and steal all these voting machines. The thing to me about all of these text messages, doesn't matter if it's Hannity, Lindell, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, all of them have sent text messages. They're all available. Is the scope of it. Like just the absolute scope of what was happening and the number of people involved. This wasn't just a handful of fringe lawmakers, folks. You had the biggest names in conservative media, Sean Hannity, out there doing this. You had multi-millionaire businessmen like Mike Lindell out there working on this. And this is just the text messages from one guy, Mark Meadows. One guy. There is so much more to this investigation, so much more than what the January 6th committee can even handle. I don't understand at this point how Merrick Garland or anyone at that DOJ can sit there and watch the news from day to day as this story continues to unfold. As I predicted on Monday, folks, this is going to get a lot weirder as the week goes on, and it already is. But for anyone at that DOJ to look at this and not immediately think, one, hey, weren't we supposed to charge Mark Meadows with contempt? Oh yeah, that order is still sitting on my desk since December. Two, put in a special prosecutor. This is getting ridiculous. This is getting out of hand. The names, the players, the schemes, the scams, all of it is too much for the January 6th committee to even handle at this point. The DOJ has to step up, and they have to step up right now. And as I always say, if Merrick Garland won't do it, then he needs to step aside so we can get an attorney general who will. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.